to finish our Santa, our freestanding Santa. Right now, he's a little dismembered, but we're going to put him all together and have a completed Santa by the end of this live. We're going to embellish him. We're going to add his face, add his arms and his legs, and embellish him and just make him super duper cute. He's already turning out really, really cute. So I'm excited to see how he comes out when we're all done. But this is kind of where we're at right now with him. And I think he's going to be absolutely adorable when we're finished. I'm excited to see how he turns out. So we are going to be adding some buckles. I think I'm going to add a belt. We're going to add some florals to his hat probably. Of course, we've got to add a face. And we're going to just finish this guy up. So that's the plan. I will be live again today. We're going to be doing some ornaments this afternoon. Okay. It's already kind of right now. It's here in Kentucky. It's afternoon, but even later in the afternoon, we're going to do our ornaments. Okay. So when you hop on to say hello, let me know you're watching. I hope you're having a wonderful day today. It's a beautiful day here in Kentucky. It's supposed to get back up into the 90s today. It's 87 right now, and sunny, and I'm glad that there is no rain. Has this not been, I don't know about you all, but this has been a strange summer so far. It has been so rainy this summer, and we've had cool days, and it has just been odd. It's been very odd, and it hasn't really even been a great summer for swimming. So, you know, hopefully it's going to warm up and this week is going to be better. All right, let's see who we've got joining. Hi, Laura. Hello, Tammy. Hey, Donna. Hey, Linda. Hi, Cindy. So Cindy, I haven't talked to my mom today, but she did end up going to the doctor yesterday. And she has to, they've got to run a test. And we don't know yet. But hopefully we will know here in a few days. My dad goes to the doctor tomorrow. Hi, Kay. Good to see you. Hi, Patty. Hey, Chrissy. Hello, everybody. I'm glad y'all are here. Hello, Barbara. Good morning. Y'all, if you would sprinkle and celebrate, that would mean so much to me. Spread the word. Get it out there so that more people can come join. Hi, Heidi. Hello, hello. I'm glad y'all are here. So glad y'all are here. All right. Let's jump into it and let's start working on our Santa. Okay. So Monday, here's what we did. Okay. Just a little recap for you. So the boots are available at celebrationcompany.com. These are paper mache boots. So they are the base for our Santa. Okay. We needed something because this is going to be a freestanding Santa. We needed a nice, good base for him. So we use these paper mache boots, and then we took a wrapping paper roll that I had, cut it down, and then we used that for the legs, and we just wrapped the fabric around, and of course added the little cuff on the bottom. Okay. So we've glued that wrapping paper roll inside our boot and put our little pants on. Okay. Then we took an oats container. This is one of the big oats containers. We cut it down, cut the height down a little bit. Then I added we wrapped it in fabric, added all the little details with the chenille. And then for the face, I used the bottom of a foam tree form, and then I also sort of shaved off that top corner of that as well. So it gave us this sort of odd shape, but it worked well for the head. We used a piece of cardstock to trace out the beard, and then folded the fabric around it and did the same thing with the mustache. And then we just used the fabric to make a little hat, and of course trimmed it out again. We also stuffed the hat a little bit on the inside so that it would stand up a little bit. Okay. So that's where we're at right now. All right. Oh, and we did the arms, got the arms started as well. We made our little like tubes and stuffed them with fabric. And then we did our little mittens as well out of the floral fabric and stuffed those and then glued those together. So now we've got to finish our hands or our arms, and we're going to wrap some of the chenille around the cuff here of the sleeve so that it matches everything else. All right, so that's where we are. So I am going to get my fabric scissors here, and we're just going to get a strip cut out that we can use for the cuff. I'm going to kind of see how big this needs to be so that I can make sure I have enough. All right, I'm just going to cut all the way down. Okay. All right, and we're just going to fold this over. I've got my hot glue gun. I'm going to turn it on high. It's on low right now. So this may not work real well. The high does best when you're using it on fabric, I feel like. Griffin's been using my glue gun though, and I won't let him use it on high. He's been making rockets. Okay, and then again, let's fold the other side in for our cuff. Okay. There we go. All right. So we're going to wrap this around the sleeve, and I want to make sure that I leave the seam in the back again. I'm going to cut that edge so it's a little bit cleaner. This is just going to hide some of that ugliness. All right, and look how much better that looks. How cute is that? Okay, now let's do the other one. I'm really just gluing it on the back. I'm not really worrying about gluing the front at all. Okay. All right, so we've got our arms ready. Let's glue the arms and the legs on and get those added. Dana says she started gathering a few items to consider using for her Shop Your Stash Snowman Challenge. Oh my goodness, you haven't crafted since November? Thank you, Chrissy. Why, Dana? All right, so I'm trying to decide here about the arms and how I want to, do I want to try to glue them underneath the head, which is possible, or do I want to glue them right to the side? And I'm just not sure how that's going to look. I think I'm going to glue them under the head, okay? So it's kind of raised up there anyways a little bit. So I'm just going to add some glue right around there. Make sure you get the arms right, the hands going the right direction. And I'm just going to press this up in there. Okay, perfect. And we can always have the Santa holding something or whatever. You know, we can kind of move his arms if we wanted to and have them like that. And look, it just fell out because I was pulling on it. Okay, let me try it again. I'm going to take a popsicle stick or something, or skewer or something, to press this in a little bit more. Dana, I'm sorry to hear that. Okay, now let's do the other side. Ava, yes, it is. Except for, you know, like the stands. And then the pictures are, all of these pictures are our graphics or embellishments or whatever, signs from our Celebrate and Create Paper Club. So they're just framed. Okay, so here we go. We've got our arms. They look good. Okay, now we need to do our legs. So I've got to decide on these. I think what I'm going to do is pull this back a little bit. I'm going to put some hot glue inside here and then fold the excess down inside. Let me get another glue stick. Oopsie-daisies. Putting quite a bit inside there. I want to make sure the seam is in the back and that these are sitting where I want them to be. And then I'm just going to push all of this excess down inside and just sort of press it down. Okay, like that. So let's do the same thing over here on this one. I'm glad to hear that, Dana. Okay. So, again, I want to make sure it's pulled down far enough. So that you don't see any of the cardboard. Okay. There we go. Okay, so our feet are ready. Let's glue our feet on. So we're just going to glue them, I'm hoping, just right to the bottom here, okay? That's my thoughts. I don't really know how this is going to go, but I want to make sure I don't really know if there's a left and a right, but one side, they look better going one way than the other. So, okay, here goes nothing. Let's see here. Okay, so they fit pretty well right inside there. All right, I'm gonna put hot glue right across the top. There might be a better way to do this. I'm not sure. But this is the way I'm doing it. And I'm going to glue this on. Just going to hold this for a second. Then I make sure that it's set. And then I may come back and add some more hot glue. Yeah, a candy cane would be cute. A gift would be cute. What's some other ideas of some things that he could hold? Okay, I'm going to put this fabric under his leg to hold that. All right, let's do the other one. A list, that would be cute. Okay. I hope I haven't gotten them crooked. Okay. I'm going to take my hot glue and get in here and add around the edge, the outside edge. A Santa bag. I love that idea. That would be cute. Just want to make sure this is set a little bit. Okay. While this starts to set, I think I'm going to paint my buckles. So we're going to be using the buckles we have here at the Celebration Company. They look like this. I'm going to do a buckle on his feet and for his belt. Okay. So we're going to do 3 buckles. And we're going to make them gold, of course. So we're going to start with raw umber. And we're going to do a coat or 2 of raw umber on these. I'm going to grab a piece of tape. And just tape this to my surface by flipping it backwards. And then we're just going to stick these on to the tape like this. And that'll make them easier to paint. Thank you, Dana. That's so sweet. Okay. Let me find a good brush here. I think all my brushes are over by the sink. All right. So we'll definitely need at least 2 coats. What? Okay, what are you doing?
I have to do chore that Dad told me.
Oh.
Now I just have to sell cars and nothing. I already unloaded the dishwasher.
And is your room actually clean, or is it just...
I can go back there.
Well, you probably need to. Hi, Pam. All right, let me dry these. Thanks for celebrating, Judy. Okay. Let's go in with a second coat. The second coat might be enough. Let's see. All right. All right, I think I'm going to do a little bit more. They're not quite as covered as I want them to be. So I'm going to go in again one more time real quick. Okay, this should be good. All right. Dry these down. And then we're going to use our Distress paint in the Tarnished Brass. This one is available on our website as well. And it's my favorite gold paint to use. So you always, though, when you use this, I recommend starting with a base coat of some kind. And what color you use as your base coat will determine what the color gold looks like. Okay, so if you want it to be really bright gold, then I would start with like a mustardy color base coat. But if you want it to be more of a brassy, more rustic, I like to use a raw umber. I've used black before as well. So we're gonna, let's see here. Don't know if I have a fluffy brush. Let me run over here and grab it. Hang on just a second. I think the Tarnished Brass might be sold out, but it's on order, so it'll be here very soon. All right, let me grab a paper towel. You don't need a lot of this. That's the other benefit of doing a base coat. It makes it go further for some reason. So I'm just going to do a little bit, and then I just remove a lot of it. Okay, so you do not need a lot. You can see I don't have much on my paintbrush, but once you start brushing this on, it really deposits the color. And so you're just going to dry brush over these little buckles. Hi, Jamie. Thank you for joining me. All right, and you can do as much or as little as you want. I like for a little bit of that undercoat to show. I think it just looks better. All right. So here's our buckles. Oh yes, this is gonna look good, good. Okay. So let's peel them all off of our tape. All right. Let's see if our Santa will stand. Fingers crossed. He's a little wobbly, but he stands. Very good. I think I got the legs a little bit off, but I think they're okay. I think they'll be fine. He's kind of standing on one foot more than the other. Like I said, because I don't think I quite got them even, but it's all right. Okay, so let's do, I want to do the belt next. So we're going to use this black fabric that's got the little roses on it, because I think it'll be really cute. And so I'm just going to tear a strip of this off. And we're going to fold the edges, I think. Do I want to do that, or do I want it to be raw? Let me see. Do I want it nice and clean on the edges? Or do we want a raw edge with a fray? That might be kind of cute. Let's see what this looks like. Let's feed this through. How cute is that? Okay, but let's see. I think I want to make it smaller, and I think I do like the frayed edge. So let's make it smaller. And let's keep the frayed edge. I don't mind if it's a little bit bigger than this space and has to kind of gather a little bit. But it was definitely too big before. All right. So let's run it through. There we go. I think that looks really good. Look how cute that is. Jeremy, I don't know that, honestly. This red that I used is fairly new. I don't think that this red is old. So chances are it came from Hobby Lobby. And then the floral fabric, though, is old. It's from Joann's, but I've had it for a long time. It actually came from my husband's grandmother. So I don't know about that. But as far as the red goes, I do think that it's a current fabric. All right. Oh my goodness. Oh, okay, it's a fly. I'm like, there's something crawling on here. Whew. Y'all, I just hate bugs, okay? just don't like them. All right. So I think what I'm going to do is glue the buckle on right where I want it. So let me flip this. And I'm just going to add some hot glue. Okay, this fly is going to have to go, y'all. And let's just glue it right on. I need something. Missing. Okay. Let's bring this around to the back side. And I'm just going to cut. And then I'll just glue the end here, right on the back where the seams are. And then we'll do the same thing on this end. I might actually here fold this under to make it look a little bit nicer. Not that the rest of the back of this does. Okay. All right, so our belt is on. How cute is that? Okay, let's do our buckles. Now, I think for the buckles, I'm trying to decide. I think I'm actually going to mold them to the shoe. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to use our heat tool, and we're going to turn it on and warm up these buckles. And they're going to be bendable. And once that happens, I'm just going to kind of press them down and let them cool. And they're going to be sort of molded to the shape of this boot, instead of just kind of floating on the top. Okay, so let me show you the difference. See that? Can y'all see the difference? And so then I'm just going to pop this back off now that it's, I'm going to use hot glue, or super glue, I mean. And then we're just going to glue this on. So I'm just going to use some super glue. Because it's going to hold a lot better than hot glue. All right, and then let's do the other side. Y'all, this is so cute. Thank you. I'm glad y'all like him. I'll make sure you let it set long enough. So that it doesn't remold after you pull it off. Okay. All right, let's super glue this one on. There we go. All right. Okay, we're getting there, y'all. We're getting there. Let's do the face. Here's what he looks like so far. let's do our face now. So I want to do the nose first, and I'm going to use a piece of the same fabric that we used for the face and a puff ball or like a pom-pom. And I'm just going to, let's see here. Let me grab a piece of jute. You could also like sew this if you wanted to, but I hate to sew, y'all, so I'm not going to. I did think about it, Irene, so we'll see. I'm just going to gather the fabric up around the little pom-pom. And then I'm just going to take this piece of jute and tie this. Super tight. Okay. Then we're just going to cut all this excess off. All right, so we end up with our little nose. Let's make sure that this is going to be right, and I think it is gonna work. Okay, before I do the nose though, typically y'all know I like to do the nose first. I'm gonna do the eyes and the cheeks. So for the eyes, I am gonna, I think use, let's see here, I'm either gonna just paint on just some black eyes, or I could use these little half beads and paint them black. So I've got to decide here. But I want to do the cheeks because they need to be sort of red behind. I think I want to paint the eyes on. So we're just going to keep it pretty simple, y'all. I'm not going to do some big fancy. Not going to do it. Okay, let me grab my ink. And let me go grab the brush that I was using yesterday. Hang on a second. Okay. So this little brush right here, this always makes me nervous. Kind of getting a little bit of the extra off. Typically, I do not like to do the cheeks before I do the other parts, so this color is working good. This is the Worn lipstick. And it's giving me some nice rosy cheeks. Okay, let's do the nose. All right, I am going to glue around this little knot that I made so I can sort of push the nose on. Beads would definitely work for the eyes, but I don't want anything raised, I think I just am not liking that look. So I'm going to go with something a little more that's flat. And so that's why I'm going to paint the eyes on with just some black paint. All right. So there's our nose. I'm going to take and add a little bit onto the nose as well. Like that. Okay. Now, let's do our eyes. Oh, which makes me nervous. Okay. I think that I'm going to take a pencil and kind of mark where I want my eyes to be. So, of course, you want to always be just off the side of the nose a little bit. So just kind of find the middle and then move out. So I don't know if y'all can see, but there's where I put my eyes. So I'm going to use the end of a paintbrush. I think it's the easiest way to make a circle. Of course, we're dealing with fabric here, so have to do it a couple of times. Okay, I'm keeping them small. Eyes are hard, and I think that I like it best when I just keep them simple, Ethel. If I just keep it as simple as possible, that's when I'm the happiest with it. Otherwise, it just ends up being too much. So, keep it simple. I'm sort of wondering about eyebrows. I'm kind of wondering if I could use my chenille, and if I pull the furry part back and I cut the fabric right up against it, then do the same thing on the other side. Could I get like a little eyebrow? I think I can. I think I can. I think I can. Oh, yeah. Okay, let's do it again. So I'm just sort of taking my chenille, pulling the fur part back on both sides, and then just cutting right up against it as tight as I can without allowing it to fall apart. I think that works. So let me glue those on. That looks cute, right? All right, so let's glue this on. Just gonna add a little bit of hot glue. All right. So there's our eyebrows. That's cute. Okay. So y'all are saying he needs glasses. So I'm going to try our glasses template and see if that will be big enough. If y'all didn't know, we have a template available on our website on how to make glasses. Okay. And it's really cool. Let me get my wire. I think I've got some black wire maybe. Well, I hoped I did. No, let's see. Maybe rusty. What about rusty wire? I don't really think I want to use silver. What do y'all think? Does that look good or not? Let me try this, just see what this looks like. And it may be too big. I don't know. Let's see if I can remember how to do this. So put your wire through the little, this is what it looks like. I don't have any gold, Tammy. Put your wire through the little slit and you're going to wrap this around all the way around the very first circle. Come back around to the middle and to the middle one. Wrap it over the middle one. Then again, pull it all the way around to that last circle. Wrap it around and come back to the little slit on the sides. All right. Let's pull this off. And so that gives us our little glasses. And so, do we want them to just be like a little spectacle? Or I think they're going to work. Let me just kind of adjust them a little bit. So we can cut them to where they're just like a little spectacle, or we can make them to where they go down the sides. So what do you all think? Hi, Samantha. You'll have to watch the replay for sure. There's 2 videos on this. I sell these. Yes, Ava, we sell these. These are available at celebrationcompany.com. So you can use any kind of wire you want to. Yeah, I wish I had some gold wire, but I don't have any gold wire. Definitely not that's big enough. All I have is some copper wire, or I've got rusty wire. Okay, so more like spectacles. That's kind of what I'm thinking. So I think what I'm going to do then, cut these off. Okay. And then we've got our little spectacles, and we've just got to figure out how to attach them. I don't know if, I feel like if I use the gold, it is just going to like rub right off because, you know, it's metal. But let's see. Thank you, Samantha. I'm just sort of dabbing this on. Might work. Just don't really know how I'm going to make this stick. That's so cute, y'all. That is so cute. Okay, I think I'm going to use some super glue. And I'm just going to add super glue down the sides of the frame where it's touching the nose. And then hopefully that'll hold it. If we have to, we could go back and add a little bit of hot glue. But hopefully once this sets, it'll hold it. That is adorable. He's turning out so cute. He's almost done, y'all. Okay. So let's figure out a few embellishments. We're getting there. I think that I want to maybe glue the hat so that it stays like that. So I'm just going to take a little bit of glue and add just right to this little bit here. Just sort of tack that. So that it stays. And then I do want to add, I do kind of want to see if I can do a bag. And I'm thinking that I kind of want to try to do it with this. So let's see. Look how cute he is. Is he not turning out so cute? All right, I'm going to set him aside for a minute. Let's see if we can make a Santa bag. We're winging this right here, okay? So let's see here. We first need to, I need a square. All right, so I'm going to take and cut that and then cut like this to make a square. Is it, Samantha? I always use E6000 or super glue gel. I'm very much a creature of habit. Some of y'all around here know that. Okay, so we've got a square. So what I'm going to do is fold this in half. And then I'm going to fold it in half again so that I can make a circle. So I'm just going to take my scissors and just cut out around the corners so that we can make a circle. And it's a little bit more of an oval, but I think it'll be fine. Then I want to fray the edges. So I'm going to go around with my finger and my thumb and try and get the edges frayed. Could also have cut this with pinking shears as well if you don't want that frayed look. Okay, then I'm going to get some red velvet ribbon. I have an idea in my head. Hopefully I can execute it. Okay. So red velvet ribbon. It's right here. And I'm using, it's a thin, it's like a 3/8 inch ribbon. Okay, so what we're gonna do is take more of the fabric. I'm gonna take and tear a strip. May or may not work, y'all. I'm not sure. Or I might have to use something else. I don't know. But here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that if we take our ribbon, we run the ribbon around the inside. So I'm just gonna kind of figure out how long this needs to be. And of course I'm going with extra. I can always cut it down. Yeah, we could definitely sew a running stitch. I hate sewing, so I'm gonna see if I can do this without it. And then I'm thinking if we take our fabric and we glue around, all the way around on the edges, leaving that ribbon inside. Okay, so that way it's like a drawstring and we can pull that ribbon, is what I'm thinking. So I don't know, let's just see. Let's just see what happens. So I'm just gonna take and put hot glue around here. And then I'm gonna take my fabric and glue it around the edge. And I think it's okay if there's multiple pieces. Okay, let's take another piece. All right, and keep going. I'm gonna overlap a little bit. Just keeping that right on the edge, that line of glue. Okay, getting there. Yeah, well, you could definitely, I am making it more complicated than I need to, aren't I? You could just do that, stuff it and just tie it closed. That's a good idea. Kayla's making it complicated, aren't I? Okay. All right. And then I'm just going to overlap this last bit. Okay. So we've got our fabric all the way around the edge. Now we've got to stuff it with our ribbon. So right here where these two come together, we're going to have some ribbon coming out. And so I'm going to start just putting this ribbon in here. And then as I do, I'm just going to glue the other piece down, making sure not to glue the ribbon. So we're just making a little pocket for that ribbon to sit in. Y'all following what I'm doing? Thank you, Cindy. make sure not to get that ribbon in there. I just tried to. We want the ribbon to flow freely. You could kind of use some pins, some straight pins, to kind of hold the ribbon in place while you're gluing the fabric down. Now, does your house ever make noise and you're like, what is that noise? Something making noise right now, and I'm like thinking, what the heck is that? Yeah, obviously sewing might be the better option for this, but yeah, I avoid it at all costs. We're almost there. Now this piece though, I'm gonna have to unglue this a little bit in order to get this other piece out. We want them both coming out the same spot, both ends. I mean, I have a 1940s house, and so it just makes noises sometimes. And like my fridge makes a lot of noise sometimes, and I don't know. Okay, last little bit here. Let's glue all this down. Hopefully I've managed to avoid getting the ribbon. All right, are y'all ready? Let's see if this works. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. I'm scared. Okay, so I'm gonna start pulling, and hopefully it's not too big. It's the other thing. Samantha, he's upstairs playing video games. Okay. I think we're getting somewhere, y'all. I just got to get it all, you know, tightened up here. What do we think? Look at that. How cute. Okay. So let's see about stuffing it. Should we have some stuff coming out, y'all? I might have something that would be perfect. Okay, and then of course we can cut the ribbon, but we had to make sure that we had enough. So let me get a little bit of stuffing first. don't need a lot. Yeah, I don't think we need a lot. Yeah, I think the bag is going to be just right. Look at that. That's going to be cute. Okay. So I think that's enough. Maybe just a smidgen more. That's what I was thinking, is some toys. And so I do have a horn that I've been wanting to use. So let's see what we have. Okay. Horn might be too big. I don't know. But I've got this horn right here. I think it's going to be too big. Darn. All right, let me. Should he be just kind of like holding it like that? Don't y'all think he should be just kind of holding it like that? Or should he be holding it like this? Okay, let me see what I have in my bag of tricks. I got this candy cane that I made a while back, but I don't think I like the color of it. Got this little bell, which would be really cute. Over his shoulder. Let's see, how would that... He'd kind of have to be like... I don't know about that. I don't know if I can make that work. Let me see here if I have anything I can put in that's going to be cute. I've got a teddy bear. It's not very big, but I've got these little teddy bears. That could be kind of cute. I think everything else in here is going to be too small. Kind of an odd size that we need for this. Oh, I do have these gifts. They might work. Does that look too cheap? I think that might look too cheap. I don't think I like that. We have to cover them. And I don't know if I want to do that or not. Got this really great rocking horse. But I think it's too big as well. I don't know. I think it's too big. I think I'm not going to stuff it. I think I'm not going to put anything inside the bag. Because I think it's getting too much. Attach the bell to it. Okay, let me look at this for a minute and see what our options are. I think I like him just kind of holding on to the bag. And I think it's going to help to just kind of hold his arm down a little bit. So I think I like that. I'm going to tie this up. So that we've got a little and then I don't think I like the bell either. I feel like I'm kind of keeping it simple here. I think I'm gonna make a tie here. Just kind of playing right now with this. Kind of see what I like and how looks the best. I think maybe I don't like this tied. So let me see if I can't untie it. He could hold the little horn on the other side. If he was just holding the horn and not having it in the sack. Okay, I like it like that. So I'm going to cut this. And I'm just going to kind of glue this together. And then I'm going to glue this onto his hands. Can y'all hear my child acting a fool right now? Okay. I think I like that. Just kind of holding the sack. I think that's really cute. Then it almost feels like he needs to be like holding something. What about that? If he's holding the horn like that, that's kind of cute. And I like that it's brass. I think this has to come off. That's sort of cute. Let's see what the rocking horse looks like. If he's holding the rocking horse under his arm. I think I like the horn better than the rocking horse. I think I kind of really like that actually. I think that's super cute. Okay, so let's do that. So I'm gonna lay him down so that I can get this glued on. We're gonna do some hot glue right here. And some hot glue right here. And then we'll bring the arm down. And we're going to do hot glue right here. And then I'm going to tack down the hand so that he kind of looks like he's holding on to it like this. Okay. I love how this is turning out. We need to add a little bit of floral, I think, to his hat. Make sure this is good and adhered. How cute is that? That's looking so cute. Okay. So let's do the hat. Oh, I also have these little velvet bows that I thought about adding to the sack. I don't know if I like it or not. I don't think I do. Okay. All right. Floral. Let's do some floral. Let's see here. All right. We got to embellish this hat a little bit. So he's looking really great down here, but up here needs a little something. It's fallen a little short. So let me take a few sprigs. Let's see what we can come up with. Okay, that looks good. And then we can maybe do either some bells or some pine cones. I think I'm going to use a little bit of wire to tie this together. Maybe I'll use a zip tie. Okay. Okay. All right, so here's our little bundle of florals. Okay, I'm gonna glue this onto the hat. Right up here like that. A little bit of hot glue, as always. We could also do a bow or something up there too if we wanted. But I'm thinking I want to try a bell first. I want to see if I have any brass bells. I know I've got some really cute ones that are vintage. But then I've also got some new ones. Okay, so we've got our greenery on there. I need to cut that piece off. It might be a little a little too much. Okay, there we go. I think that's better. All right, so I have got these bells right here, which are vintage and so cute. And so they're brass. They're going to go with all the other stuff. Okay, that is cute. Very cute. Okay, so I'm going to put them together to where they're kind of hanging at different levels, and I'm going to tie them together if I can with this. Okay. There we go. And then, let's see. Or do I just want to... trying to decide here how I'm going to attach these. Might rather just glue them on. Okay, I think that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm just going to glue them on. My kid is making so much noise. Okay, and this one I'm going to make a little bit lower than the other. How cute is that? Does he need anything else? What do y'all think? He is adorable. Okay, let me take a look at him so I can see if he needs anything. The only thing I'm not in love with is the face. Surprise, surprise. But I can't think of what I could do to fix that. This leg looks like it's a little too short, so I think I'm just going to paint that because the cardboard is showing. So I'm just going to get a little paint in here. Try to paint that little bit that's showing. Okay, that looks better. Let me do this side. Okay. All right, now I'm going to take a lint. Oh, y'all, I forgot too. I was going to kind of distress those boots a little bit as well. Wonder if I should. Or if I should just leave him as is. I was going to take some raw umber or some milk chocolate to the boots. But I don't really know if it's needed. He looks pretty cute. Okay, let's take a lint roller to him and get all the excess hot glue strings and lint. And everything. All right. I think that he's done. I think he is. I don't think that there's anything else I could do. So here he is. Santa's all done. He turned out so dang cute. I hope y'all enjoyed him. Remember, I used a wrapping paper roll, an oats container, and then a piece of a styrofoam Christmas tree for the base of him. So, y'all, you could use that same concept to do lots of different things and make lots of different characters. Of course, you could definitely do a Mrs. Claus as well. You could get so creative and do all kinds of things, but I think he turned out super duper cute. So thank you all so much for joining me. I hope you all enjoyed this project. And I'll see you all back here in a couple of hours for another project. All right, y'all. Have a great day. Love you guys.